and powered by the Red 5 Network. For more, visit red5.bio.link. I switched back to the other music. I love the theme song so much. Thank you so much, Tomby, for it, but it was a bit distracting for background music, so I went back. Hello! Good morning! Happy Thursday! I mean, subjectively, I guess. Good morning, guys. I hope you are hanging in there, doing as well as you can. Got coffee in hand. I chose this one for the day. My tummy hurts and I'm mad at the government mug. I will give us all 5 minutes to discuss the elephant in the room, to discuss the horrible events of yesterday. And of course, it is September 11th, a day of remembrance. I don't know how many of you know this, but I was an active duty Army wife for 15 years. And I did live on post when that happened, when 9/11 occurred. It is very vivid in my mind to this day. I mean, I was a very young wife and mother, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It was just, there's no words that you could truly describe it other than it really felt like the world was ending, or at least on a knife's edge. And just very auspicious what happened yesterday, that, it's the day before 9/11. So I'll give us 5 minutes to talk about it. I'm not a political YouTuber, but I can't avoid when events like that occur. I feel very, very sad for the Ukrainian refugee Irina. I don't even want to attempt to say her last name because I don't want to butcher it. Oh, poor choice of words, Danielle. I apologize. What happened to her was horrific. And, she was stabbed on a subway. That was mental illness. And what happened to podcaster and pundit Charlie Kirk is just as horrific, and also mental illness. It is mental illness that killed him, because what I believe, what I was raised to believe, and what I think a lot of you believe as well, that violence of that nature, extreme force, is not the answer unless someone is right there in that moment physically assaulting you, and your life is at risk, or the life of your child or loved one. Pardon me. It's never the answer. If you don't like what someone is saying, you have the options to not listen to them, block them, mute them, whatever you have to do. But also, you can sue them. Those are the options in the United States if you don't like the things that someone is saying. But unless someone is physically assaulting you, murdering someone is just not the answer. And I think we should all feel grieved for his children. He has 2 very small children that have now lost their father. And as a parent who has a child who lost her father at a young age, witnessing the pain, the heartache, and the devastation that she went through, I would never wish that on anyone else, on any child, on any mother of a child who loses a parent. That is, I have no words. And I think we really need to start thinking before we speak when you want to talk karma, because Charlie Kirk's time on this earth is done. There are no more consequences for him. It is his family that suffers the harm people have spoken of. And I think that is very ill to wish that. It is not Charlie Kirk that is suffering from this anymore. It is his wife. It's a very small portion. What karma are they receiving? Think before you speak. Never celebrate death. It's just sickening to me. Do not celebrate that. I've had to block people that I considered friends, real friends, for some years now. And I did it without even a thought. Because why would I want to be friends with someone who celebrates murder? I don't. So that's what I have to say about it. That's our 5 minutes. We're going to yell good morning. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and ring the notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with even more of this nerdy nonsense. Just to remind you, DJ, the Red 5 Network, my birthday twin, and of the exegesis, he won the giveaway when we hit 3,000 hours. He's got the hoodie and a $50 gift card. So congratulations to DJ, but we're doing it again. We are 900 hours away from 4,000 hours, which would get the channel completely and fully monetized. And I will be giving away another hoodie at that time. I cannot guarantee there will be a gift card or not, because that was offered. But I will give you guys some dope AF merch. So we're almost there. We're almost about to hit 9,000 subscribers too. So we're on our way to 10,000. That's blowing my mind. So now that that's out of the way, let's yell good morning at the chat. Of course, members first. Good morning, Ensign Nerdling, Deranged Lunatic. Good morning. We got mic issues. Good morning, Kino Nerdling First Class and Ensign Nerdling and contributing editor producer Kino. Hello. Good morning, Omari. Yes, this is dark. This is bad for all of us. For all of us. It's tragic. Absolutely disgusting and tragic. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Penny. Buenos dias, Fernando. Dani Maniacs. Oh my. I think I like that. Good morning, Music City Soul. Good morning, Nerdling First Class Backyard TARDIS. And good morning, Hunter. I think that's what we've got. All right, let me check out your chats here. Deranged Lunatic says, I'm mad at the government every damn day. Yeah. USA. All right, guys. Maybe they didn't like what I had to say. They are everywhere. All right, guys, let's get into it. We got a few things to talk about today. Why does it do that? I don't know why it does that. It just goes rare. That fade out option. Sorry, I got to adjust. That fade out option doesn't exactly work as they want it to. And that's one of the reasons why I switched to the Chicken Poofs song. Chicken Poofs for breakfast. Chicken Poofs for lunch. My friend Amy makes these amazing chicken pastries that I call Chicken Poofs. Maybe I'll call them chicken farts. That'll really disgust her. She gets really grossed out by the idea of farts. And she gets really mad at me because I think it's funny and will torment her. Hey, also, I dropped my unboxing video for my Zenni optical glasses. Yeah. So check that out if you will. Give it a share, give it a like, all that stuff. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Mm. The only problem with my government mug is that it's only 8 ounces. And I need at least 14. Chicken poop. Listen, I scoop chicken poop at least twice a week. And then I save it because it's great fertilizer. Yeah. Chickens are great, man. Listen, chickens eat fleas and mosquitoes out of your yard. So we have something called a chicken tractor that it's a coop on wheels. You can move around your property, around your yard. So we move it every day, hoping that they will eat up all the fleas and mosquitoes. So I think it's cool. All right, guys, let's dig into it. So this is something I did not know. James Gunn actually wrote the role of Peacemaker with Dave Bautista in mind. However, Dave Bautista declined because he was offered other roles that offered more money. I'm guessing one of them was probably Raban for Dune. So, can you blame him? They offered more money. And I'm very, very glad that that's how it worked out because James Gunn or John Cena is actually just killing it as Peacemaker, which by the way, happy Peacemaker Day to all who celebrate. I hope that tonight's episode is more exciting too because I feel like what are we 3 episodes in so far? I'm just like, well, I like it. I do, but not as much as I was into season 1. So, we'll see. Backyard Artist says chickens also keep rattlesnakes down. Nice. We have discovered there is a fox living in our tree line. So we've been extra careful in that. And yes, I agree with you, Maria. Take that check. Take that check. Hey, I got product placement. They said, "Hey, will you make a video about our glasses if we give you a pair of glasses?" And I was like, "Bet. Bet. I'll do it again too. Send me all the glasses you want." Maria says, "I think Batista is a better actor than Cena." Really? See, I have to disagree with you at least now. At least nowadays. Maybe before Peacemaker season 2, I would have agreed with you, but I have to admit, Maria, I got to admit Cena has really really grown as an actor in this like that first episode, the second episode, like he really dove deep and showed some range. I'm impressed. I'm truly impressed. And so far, Batista, I think the best work Batista has done was in The Last Showgirl. He showed a little bit more range in that. But so far I haven't exactly seen the range from Batista that would make me say, yeah, he's definitely better than Cena. Good morning, Loki. Batista can play only one type of guy. Cena can at least fake cry. There you go. Yeah, I believe John Cena has grown as an actor. I really, really do. So I'm very, very happy with how this worked out. This happens quite often, and I'm very happy when it does. So there you have that. I wonder in those 99 doors if there's a world where Batista is Peacemaker. Eh? He was good at I forgot about that. He was good in that. I mean, it's not my favorite M. Night Shyamalan. It is an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, isn't it? Um, it's not my favorite of his films, but I'll give you that. He was decent in that. Heck yeah. And according to my friend Brian, who did his Drax makeup. Batista is a pretty genuine, or at least he was when Brian was working with him. He was a pretty genuine guy who was like, I don't like this Marvel handcuffs shit. I want out. So there's that. All right, guys, if you have any questions, comments, emotional outbursts about how Dave Batista was almost Christopher Smith, leave it in the chat below. We are going to move on. We might get into some of this, some of the CLAYFACE leaks again, because I mean, preponderance of filming leaks. I feel like we're going to know the whole thing by the time the movie comes out. Like, what reason would we have to go see the movie when we've basically seen it already? Don't forget to hit like. Don't forget, we do have memberships. Oh, that reminds me. And I'm going to answer your question in a second, Maria, because yes, good point. We are deadlocked. The members poll is deadlocked when it comes to which nostalgic 90s sci-fi show we're going to watch first for our members only watch parties. Deadlocked. So we need more members because we can't watch Farscape and Hercules at the same time, guys. It's just not going to work. So we need more members to vote because I don't want to have to pick. Please and thank you. All right, guys, back to it. So, again, this is a game I haven't played. My children did. My children were really into this. Netflix's BIOSHOCK movie is now confirmed. This is coming from the Direct. It's now confirmed to be based on the first game. Script is currently being worked on. It will be Francis Lawrence's next project after he's done filming the next Hunger Games movie. Any fans of BioShock? Loki says, no more game adaptations. See, I have felt for a while that this was the next avenue. This was the next source material they were going to pull from. I'm telling you, you're going to have to get used to it. There's going to be more. I mean, you don't have to like it, but I do believe it's happening. So, hey, there's someone who likes it. Okay, I know this is super vain of me, but I have to tell you guys. I have to tell someone because the only people I have to talk to about this are my family, and they're like, whatever. But after the back injections, it's been working great. The new regimen my doctor's had me on for the last few months, working great. Guess what, guys? I don't know if you could tell. I've gotten so big that you can barely tell, but I am officially down 30 pounds. I've lost 30 pounds. And I really think you can tell in the trailer I made, because it was clips from stuff I've done over the last year. And you see the older stuff and compared to the new stuff, and this area is better, but I'm really, really happy. And I just wanted to tell you guys, hard work pays off. Get up, work out, watch what you eat. Stop eating crap from the store. But I have a long way to go. Okay. I am nowhere near done, but I just wanted to tell somebody because you guys are my only friends. Thank you, Maria. See, she gets it. You know how hard it is at 45. I'm 45, guys. How hard is it 45 to lose weight, especially with, my medical conditions? It's very difficult. So 30 pounds, only 100 more to go. But thank you, guys. I appreciate it. All right. Now I'm going to stop patting myself on the back. Okay, so yes, Music City Soul says, I've been loving game adaptations as a gamer. I am all for it. Now, all of my kids except for one, and I have 4 kids, okay? So that's a pretty good demographic. um, all of my kids except one love the Fallout adaptation. All of them hated the Halo adaptation. They all love the Super Mario one, although that's more of like a my generation thing. They kind of liked that Mortal Kombat movie that came out a few years ago, and they're all very excited for the new one. So, yeah, not bad for a 29-year-old. If only. So, when I told my son, the one who didn't like uh Fallout, when I told him that BioShock was being made, he was like, "Oh my god, stop." So, he's there with Loki. Hunter, Dani, no 5th kid in sight. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Nope. In fact, in December or January next year, I have to have the shop, how do I put this, demolished. That's another one of my medical conditions, and it super sucks. It's one of the reasons why I've put on so much weight. But yeah, I can't have any more children. It's a weird thing for women to deal with. Anywho, Backyard Charter says, I did notice it in the trailer. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Good for you, Nick. You know what? DM me. We should exchange phone numbers and be like each other's sponsors. Like, I could really use a weight loss buddy. Like, I've been texting Bo. Like, Bo's been helping me a little bit with fitness and stuff. So, but I need someone to talk to when my kids bring home cheesecake. And I'm like, you don't need it. Okay. All right, moving on. So anyway, if you have any strong feelings about BioShock on Netflix, let me know in the chat. I do have to say Netflix is definitely one of the better streaming services as far as quality is concerned. I mean, hello, Stranger Things, super awesome. We're all going to be 80 by the time we get to see all of it, though. I don't care what they say. I don't think it's coming out this year. I think they're going to make us wait another 5 years. Be like, haha, psych. Not now. Not doing it now. All right, guys, we're going to move on to something else. Okay, so this is definitely something that is topical. I'm going to remove this. Dun, da, 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 da. Okay, so I am on every single social media platform. And the reason why is obvious. I have to promote my job here. I got to promote the show. So, why would I shoot myself in the foot and not take advantage of that, not try to promote myself? I'm on Blue Sky, and so far that place is a cesspool. There's only a couple of people that I follow on there that I interact with and enjoy. But after the events of yesterday, that place is rife with some of the most disgusting comments I have ever seen. Like, humanity is doomed. If Blue Sky is the sample, the sample selection, we're absolutely doomed. So the writer of the Red Hood series for DC Comics, if y'all been around, I love Red Hood. I really love Red Hood. I think he is one of the most complex and interesting characters in comic books, period. I love Red Hood. But the writer of that, I'm going to have to find, hold on. I'm going to find the actual thing because it was really, really awful. I mean, so, and I don't want to misquote or have the wrong names, etc. Where are you? Here we go. So this is Gretchen Felker Martin. She is the writer of the Red Hood series. We've only had one issue. Exactly, Medea. People are super brave behind a keyboard. In my day, you ran your mouth in person, and chances are you were going to get an immediate physical consequence. And it was a really great way to learn a valuable lesson. You learned what you could and could not say to people. Like, big time. Not everyone's going to handle things with grace and humility, so you be cautious. Anywho, Paul Blumenthal posted, someone shot Charlie Kirk at a university event. Now, my boyfriend Dave used to live like right next to this university. So he was like devastated by it. But the writer of Red Hood for DC Comics said, thoughts and prayers, you Nazi bitch. And then goes on to say, hope the bullet's okay after touching Charlie Kirk. But a vile, disgusting thing to say about a man who's been taken away from his two small children. Well, I went to go find it after that, and I believe she has deleted her account. But people went absolutely nuts over it for excellent reason. Is that the kind of person you want representing your publication, your company? Someone who celebrates heinous act like that? No, I don't think anyone. No, the answer is no. So I don't know, and I'll have to look at this article. I'm not certain if they have completely fired her, but they most certainly canceled the series after one issue. I think she might have. Kino says, OG comic creators were pissed at the comics and DC. I did see that. The first issue of the 17 plus rated Batman spin-off comic book series went on sale in September 10th. Was it yesterday? Did it go on sale yesterday? It's Charlie Kirk, and he was a podcaster and political activist. He was really big with like my daughter's generation, my kids' generation. He would travel around the country going to different universities, and he would challenge students to debate him, prove him wrong. He would just sit there and argue his point with facts and evidence or whatever. He would try to get them to beat him in debates. He did it respectfully. He was only 31 years old. And his whole point was we should be able to talk about these issues respectfully between each other, and that we can come to an understanding. We can relate to one another. We can change our minds when presented with new information. That was his whole shtick. And someone murdered him for that. Am I going to get demonetized for saying that word? I don't know. But he was a young man, 31 years old, father of two, married. And his whole shtick was going to universities and inviting people to argue their point. He wanted people to celebrate their beliefs and challenge him face to face with respectful dialogue. And that's something I feel like, whether you agree with his viewpoints or not, is irrelevant to me, because I think the whole idea is a good one. Unalived. Okay. Thank you, Penny. Thank you very much for that. I knew to this part of it. Pardon me. So that's what he was, just someone who debated, and people like Gretchen here didn't like what he had to say. So someone brought a rifle to the University of Utah where he was having one of those debating events and unalived him. The irony is he was answering a question about violence. Awful, 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 awful. And the writer of this comic that just came out on the same day that the first issue of the Mature Readers Red Hood series was released in comic book stores, DC Comics announced that it is canceling orders for all future issues of the series and will additionally be offering credit for all orders placed by retailers on the first issue, including any copies that may have already been sold to customers. Wow. Red Hood was originally announced as an ongoing monthly comic series set in the mainstream DCU, featuring the Batman supporting character of the same name, Jason Todd, former Robin turned troubled anti-hero, as well as Helena Bertinelli, aka the Huntress, as they both relocate to Louisiana only to find trouble everywhere they look. To date, 3 issues of the series had been solicited for retailer orders, with the Red Hood #1 released September 10th, 2025. In a statement sent to retailers late yesterday, DC wrote DC Comics cancels existing orders of Red Hood #2 and Red Hood #3, and any orders for future issues of the series. DC Comics will credit retailers for all invoiced copies of Red Hood #1, inclusive of copies that may have already been sold. She just cost DC Comics a good amount of money. If they have not fired her yet, she messed with their bottom line. The second issue of Red Hood was intended for release October 2nd, and the third scheduled for November 12th. Both issues were announced with Gretchen Felker Martin as writer, Jeff Spokes as interior artist, and Torrin Clark as primary cover artist. Red Hood, intended as DC's first ongoing series rated for a 17 and up audience, set aside the regular DC universe, was announced in July 2025. When contacted for reasons behind the cancellation, DC Comics provided the following statement. At DC Comics, we place the highest value on our creators and community and affirm the right to peaceful individual expression of personal viewpoints. Posts or public comments that can be viewed as promoting hostility or violence are inconsistent with DC's standards of conduct. Good for them. Good for them. Basically, we don't support people who support unaliving and violence. So, chances are Gretchen Felker Martin no longer has a job at DC Comics. And this happened fast. Same day. Same day. Just cost DC Comics a buttload of money and made them look really bad. It hurt their bottom line. I guarantee you she doesn't have a job there anymore. Well, maybe they learned their lesson, Kino. That was 10 years ago. 10 whole years ago. They probably learned a lesson. Just saying. All right, guys. Has anyone read that yet? I mean, I'm going to have to look that up. I haven't read it yet. It just came out yesterday. I'm still on Absolute Wonder Woman myself. Loki says that goes way back to Kelly Sue McConaughey of whatever her name was. Comics have been hiring these kinds of outspoken people since the New 52 era. And we all know how we feel about the New 52 era. Awful. That's how we feel about it. All right, guys. If you have any questions, comments, emotional outbursts about the Red Hood cancellation, Gretchen Felker Martin, leave it in the chat below. We're going to move on. We are going to move on. And again, don't forget, you've got super chats, you've got members, and super chats and members always get preferential attention. I'm new to this. I'm trying to figure it out. I need you guys to help me. I just don't know how to be like, there's that. Okay, let's see a couple of these. Okay, here we go. From the CLAYFACE stuff. And I'm going to keep that kind of minimal because Maria is right. The leaker stuff is a little out of control, especially with the CLAYFACE thing. Notice we haven't seen anything from Spider-Man Brand New Day since like that first week. Weird, right? And with CLAYFACE, it's just been a couple weeks now. It's just every day there's more and more stuff. But there seems to be a lot of Easter eggs going on location here. We have flyers for the Flying Graysons. The Joker has been teased. The Penguin, King Snake, I think it was. Let's see. So here's the Penguin. Behold the one and only Penguin Man, now at Amusement Mile. Amusement Mile, of course, is the Joker's headquarters. Here we go. Amusement Mile's own two-headed girl, Madam Shirley. Join us for never-ending thrills at Amusement Mile. Joker's Rule, the Ghost Dragons. Circus act, dancing horses, trapeze, freak show, guaranteed thrills. And there's also this shot here. What? Did you guys just see that? Like as soon as I clicked on it. Oh my gosh. Right as I clicked on it, it disappeared. Oh, thanks, Twitter. Thanks so much. Oh. Now I gotta find it. Let's do this. Oh, also, what does that say? Black Canary, Gotham City. Corruption is the enemy of the people. March against the GCPD, Park Row, Gotham this Saturday, 2 p.m. Join the Joker. Trying to get up there, guys. This is ridiculous. So more filming at the Philharmonic. I love it. That's not it. This is so dumb. Why did it do this to me? So we'll just go here. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Here we are. Looks like his face started melting and he ran away. So anyway, so many leaks. So many leaks from CLAYFACE. Are they is it what I've been saying this stuff is? They're trying to drum up hype because like Loki says, general audience doesn't know who CLAYFACE is. So are we trying to tell the general audience, hey, this is a Batman villain. He can morph and stuff. I stand by what I've said, that I think it's a smart idea to go the direction with someone like Clayface, because so many of the other Batman villains have been done. The Riddler, the Penguin, the Joker, Catwoman, even Mr. Freeze, Two-Face. They've been done so many times. Let's bring in something new. Batman has one of the most impressive rogues galleries there are in all of comics. And he's got some really, really fascinating rogues. Clayface could be extremely interesting. It could be really, really good if done right. So, but it is kind of feeling like they are trying to drum hype up with the general audience with this preponderance of leaks, and they're all coming from different accounts. Like Gemstars Jar, 235 followers. Another one. Oh, here's a better shot of that. Tom Reese Harris. A very fancy looking jacket. Shark skin. Some of these other, okay. Marsh Bubble UK, 230. White Widow 616, 33 followers. This is where these are all made up accounts. Clayface set pics. Actually, it's location because they're all outside. So they're all basically creating these new accounts to show this stuff. Kino says, this is bold to have a horror comic book movie that hasn't been tried in a while. I'm excited that it'll put multiple genres and fans to this one movie. I'm really excited for it. I am too. I mean, genuinely. This is my excited face. It's something new. And it's in the Batman world, which is, as I was asked yesterday, and I realized I think Batman was the first comic I remember selecting for myself. Oh. The unnecessary amount of fog, the gloomy atmosphere, the never-ending rain. I can already tell DCU Gotham is going to be my favorite since Schumacher and Burton. Okay. Nifty. And speaking of Clayface, Gunn called in the Howard Stern show. I'm not a Howard Stern fan. My dad always was when I was younger. I never was. I think he's gross. But he did call in the Howard Stern show and talking about Clayface. So here we go.
Who's Clayface?
Clayface is a Batman foe, and it is a hardcore R-rated body horror film. But within the same universe is super.
Who's Clayface?
Hardcore body horror film. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about that? Hardcore body horror comic book film. I'm serious. How do you guys feel about that? I think I know how Nick Backyard TARDIS feels about it. I'm kind of on the fence myself because gory stuff, slasher stuff doesn't appeal to me. I mean, you have some of your limbs hacked off, and tell me how you feel about body horror. But because it's Clayface, you know, I'm intrigued. See, I was right. Oops, sorry. Deranged Lunatic. I was never a Howard Stern fan. Backyard TARDIS. Hardcore, no. Kino says, let's be clear. Hardcore rated R. That's not for language. It's for graphic visuals. So excited. See, now if it's just like his skin peeling off when he morphs, I mean, that would be weird because Clayface is supposed to like look like clay. If we're talking about like melty stuff, I can handle that. But a bunch of like guts and things being hacked and slashed, and then I'm a little like, too much for me. I'm a weenie. Good morning, Red Eyes. I mean, DC Comics is no stranger to gory body horror stories. You've got a point. And like Gunn has said in the past, all of these comic books are tonally different. Like in the comics, they're tonally different. So he wants the movies and the shows to match those tones. They will all be tonally different. So what is this going to be? Our third DC, or technically fourth, because he said Blue Beetle was a DC film. So third or fourth film, depending how you look at it, into the DCU is hardcore R-rated body horror. And Backyard Tarta says, my hardcore no is for the graphic visuals. Kino says, if Clayface is successful, does that mean we get Swamp Thing and Constantine? Who knows? Gunn's kind of a madman when it comes to what he's picking to do. I'm still waiting for more information on Booster Gold. I really feel like Booster Gold's going to show up in Peacemaker. He said there's going to be a lot of like, oh my God. So probably Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, Superman. Maybe we'll get more information then. But I want Paradise Lost too. I love Wonder Woman Historia. Good morning, Dom. So is Clayface actually a sequel to Superman? Red Eyes says it might be a hard sell for the general public because comic book movies have been mainly PG-13 besides the Logan film and Deadpool, the Deadpool movies. People love those. But it was also funny. So this is supposed to be hardcore rated R body horror. Body horror. All right, guys. Let me check my show notes here. So handy. It's so handy. All right. We're going to go on to our last topic. So if you have any questions, comments, emotional outbursts about the Clayface film, about it being rated R for hardcore body horror, leave it in the chat below. And you know what? The last thing I'll say about it, because Kino's saying this will pull the horror genre fans. He's not wrong. With franchises as expansive but DC is still relatively new. However, the source material is quite expansive. Franchises with very expansive worlds and stories like Star Wars, Marvel, I do feel like there is room for different genres within it. But the problem with the Marvel stuff is you had to watch every single thing to get what was going on just to watch the one thing. And the general audience is like 54 different projects is just entirely too much for me. So hopefully James Gunn has said, whether we believe him or not, it remains to be seen. Okay, let me put the meme up for it. But he has said that he wants people to be able to watch something without having to do a poop load of homework. So he said that Peacemaker season 2 is going to set up Man of Tomorrow, but you don't have to watch Peacemaker season 2 to get and appreciate Man of Tomorrow. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. It all remains to be seen. In 6 months, we'll probably have just misunderstood what he said. Backyard Tar says, if Clayface does well, we will get a movie because James Gunn we will get a Brainiac 5 movie because James Gunn expect the unexpected. I think we might see some Brainiac 5 and Supergirl, possibly, because he's changing the whole effing movie. I had someone on TikTok. Good Lord, you gotta love it or hate it, but it exists. It's someone asked me, like, why would it be so ridiculous for her to have been like 1 year old when it destroyed? I mean, why is that so ridiculous? I said, because the story he's adapting, that's the whole point, is that she remembered and she has all this grief and trauma that she's struggling to get through. That's why. That's why. But they've changed so much of it. I wouldn't be surprised if Brainiac or Brainiac 5 appeared. Oh my gosh. I need like an actual assistant here in person to get me water because I did not get myself enough. Oh, and I'm completely out of coffee. Oh no. Okay. So, oh no, one more thing before we get to our main topic. This is really interesting. I haven't even read this article yet. I wanted to read it with you guys. So, this is crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Again, this comes from That Park Place. I do like some of their articles. I know some people have issues with them, and that's fine. But, okay, so one is at school, Loki, and the other one is, how old is he? 23? And I don't think he's off the couch yet. And I would have to yell for him and hope he could hear me through his earbuds. And then he'd have to like go around and not knock over the camera to like get my water and then bring it back. So it's a whole thing. All right. It's a whole thing. All right. So I don't know why they use Nerdrotic for this, but this is coming from That Park Place. It was dropped yesterday, written by Marvin Montanaro. YouTube dethrones Disney, NBC, Paramount, Fox, and Warner Brothers as America's true TV king and massive new media viewership win. Wow. Wow. In a world of television, an unmistakable new media shift is underway as YouTube has dominated legacy cable outlets and TV viewership. YouTube has surged ahead of DC, NBC, Universal, Fox, Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Paramount, claiming the title of America's most watched TV platform. The numbers are staggering, and for the legacy giants, sobering. According to Nielsen's media distributor gauge, reported by Cord Cutters News, YouTube now commands 11.8% of all television usage in the United States, a leap of more than 50% compared to just 2 years ago. That growth is not confined to kids and teenagers. It stretches across every demographic, from small children to retirees. The conclusion is inescapable. Consumers are flocking to YouTube while legacy TV outlets continue to lose ground. It's easy to dismiss YouTube as a platform for younger audiences, but the data shows otherwise. Adults 65 and older now make up 15% of YouTube's TV audience, with usage in the group nearly doubling year over year. This is absolutely true. Whenever I check my analytics, my demographics, that 65 and older demographic has increased every single year. It's now like 5%, I think, of my audience. 5% of my audience is 65 and older. That's wild, right? Kids ages 2 to 11 account for 17% of the platform's TV viewership. Young adults, long the target of advertisers, remain a major force, with 21% of the audience age 18 to 34. That is my biggest demographic. People younger than me. This spread of viewers demonstrates why YouTube is dominating the TV viewership landscape, from algorithm-driven short-form videos to long-form content and live streams. Yay! The platform has something for everyone. And unlike cable bundles, YouTube is built for a generation that wants content accessible on every device without a bloated price tag. YouTube's victory comes at the expense of traditional players who once dominated TV. Disney, like Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN, sits at 10.2% of TV usage, slipping about 1.5 points from last year. For a company spending billions on streaming, the decline shows audiences aren't biting the way executives had hoped. NBC Universal saw a temporary bump during the Paris Olympics, peaking at 13.4% share, but quickly fell back to 8.1%. That demonstrates a harsh truth. One-off events can't prop up long-term declines. Warner Brothers Discovery sits at 6.5%, with the White Lotus drawing eyes on Max, but not enough to counteract steep drops in cable news and sports. The Fox Corporation manages 7.2% thanks to sports like NASCAR and Major League Baseball, but its linear network viewership continues to slide. Paramount Global holds 7.8%, weighed down by seasonal drops once March Madness and golf's Masters ended. Even Netflix, once painted as the disruptor of disruptors, is now playing catch up. Its 7.9% share is respectable, and hits like Squid Game still dominate the top 10 lists. But YouTube has widened the TV viewership gap. They've got a lot of typos in this. I don't feel so bad now. The larger picture tells the same story. Traditional television is being replaced at lightning speed. In May 2025, streaming made up 44.8% of total TV usage. By July 2025, that number climbed to 47.3%, officially surpassing broadcast and cable combined. That's a 71% increase since 2021. That is massive. That is staggering. What are the major networks doing with that information? Broadcast and cable aren't just losing ground. They're losing relevance. Without sports or special event programmings, many of these networks are barely treading water. The old model of bundling channels and relying on appointment viewing has collapsed, and no amount of corporate spin can disguise that. Several key factors explain YouTube's dominance in TV viewership. Algorithmic engagement. The platform's recommendation engine keeps viewers hooked. YouTube is available everywhere, from smart TV to phones, and doesn't require a subscription. Whether it's creators, music videos, podcasts, live sports highlights, or YouTube originals, there's no other library as varied, and that is very true. For viewers, it's free. For advertisers, it's highly targeted. Hey, there's Chris Gore. He follows me. Hi, Chris. While Disney and Warner Brothers scramble to find ways to offset declining subscribers with ad-supported tiers and bundled packages, YouTube has already mastered the balance between free access and massive ad revenue. In response to these trends, legacy companies are experimenting with free ad-supported streaming services known as FAST channels. Paramount leans on Pluto TV. Fox touts Tubi. I love Tubi. And NBC Universal tries balanced Peacock's paid subscribers with advertiser-driven revenue. But these moves reek of desperation. They aren't genuine innovations. They're attempts to replicate what YouTube has been doing for nearly 20 years. Even when NBC Universal's Olympics coverage boosted Peacock, the gains evaporated once the flame went out in Paris. The real problem, none of these companies have managed to capture the daily viewing habits that YouTube commands. Sports events and prestige dramas can spike short-term engagement, but audiences are building long-term routines around YouTube's endless personalized content. And honestly, you can interact with the people on YouTube. When there's live streaming, hello, hi, with live chat, you feel seen. You are helping dictate the content that is entertaining you, as well as, you're able to comment on full pre-recorded, edited videos. Again, you are able to take part in your entertainment. You're able to help design it and dictate it. That's something that legacy media, big networks, you cannot do. They have no way to replicate that unless they make their own YouTube like platforms. And then again, that would be replication. The bottom line is the writing is on the wall. YouTube is now the dominant TV provider in America. It's 11.8% market share. Doesn't just put it ahead of NBC or Universal or Disney and NBC Universal. It makes YouTube the first digital first platform to truly dethrone traditional TV titans. Meanwhile, legacy companies are stuck trying to patch holes in a sinking ship, burning through billions in content budget while losing share month after month. Without radical rethinking of how they deliver value to viewers, Disney, NBC Universal, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery will continue to cede ground. The television landscape has shifted, and YouTube didn't just change the game, it won it. But here's, I think, the real question we need to be asking. Can we YouTubers, can YouTube function? Can we continue to deliver how we do without legacy studios, without legacy media content? Are we able to do that? Because what do we do here? We talk about this stuff over here. That right there. We talk about shows on HBO Max, movies. It is, in a very real sense, a symbiotic relationship. I don't know if one can exist without the other, unless these studios put their channels on YouTube, like the actual content. They all have YouTube channels, but unless they start putting their stuff on YouTube, I don't think one can exist without the other, because most YouTubers are talking about this stuff right here. Deranged lunatic. I can testify to that. I watch more YouTube than anything else. Loki. YouTube people like Mr. Beast were at advertiser upfronts earlier this year. It's where the people are. So that's where the ad agencies are going. True. It's very true. YouTube is an interactive TV guide. Also true. You've got everything you need right here. You want to know if you should check out this new show? Find a review. You want to know what happened in that show without actually watching the show? It's right here. It's all right here. But can one exist without the other? Can YouTube exist? I mean, the legacy stuff will exist without YouTube because it did before. But can YouTube exist without it? That's the question. That's the question. But either way, you guys are watching me more than you're watching TV. I'm okay with it. And if more of you join the channel as a member, we could actually watch TV together on YouTube. So let's do it. Let's do it. All right, guys, on to the main topic finally. That's right. YouTube is where Cobra Kai first started. And then YouTube sold it to Netflix. I forgot about that. Yep. All right, guys. Here we have our final topic. Probably not as interesting as what I've been talking about with the YouTube thing. I found that very, very interesting. This is from Deadline. Oh, look, ads. Man of Tomorrow, James Gunn says Superman and Lex Luthor will partner up against a much bigger threat. Production eyed for April of 2026. YouTube is very strict about a lot of things. And I'm okay. So this morning when I was uploading my Zenny ID, Zenny IQ lens with ID guard, Just by the way, check that out. When I was uploading that today, it said, hey, music licensing. And I'm like, great, because I do have music in it that I have licensed. This will be very handy if I can put this information now so I don't get copyright issues. No, it's not what you think. You can't do that. You can just pick from YouTube's music. I think they should offer that option where I can put my music license info in. Because what happened was I got dinged for copyright, and then I have to sit and dispute it and wait for them to eventually get to it. And it could be a month. It could be a solid month. So anyway, Man of Tomorrow, Luther and Superman partner up against something that's a much bigger threat. I'm going to say it's Brainiac. I'm going to say Brainiac. I know in Man of Tomorrow, they fight Parasite. They fight Parasite. Lobo. Lobo shows up. Martian Manhunter's in it. But I think he's going to add Brainiac. I have some people who have made some comments. Hold on. Because I'm out of water, my lips are dry. Some people, again, TikTok, made comments saying that, you know, stuff like this, like him changing Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow so drastically. He said, I think James Gunn is a fake comic book fan for reasons like this. So everybody knows it. Everybody knows that I just don't understand why you would adapt a comic book because this is a great story. Let's adapt it, but then change it so fundamentally. Why even bother adapting it? I do not understand that. Dom says Superman and Lex team up to fight the DCU's biggest threat, James Gunn. James Gunn is James Gunn's biggest threat. Facts. But I do believe that they will either replace Parasite with Brainiac or add Brainiac. Says some more intel on James Gunn's Superman follow-up, not sequel. How is it not a sequel? I don't understand that. How is it not a sequel? It's the same characters, same actors playing the same characters in the same world. It's just the next chapter in the story. So doesn't that make it a sequel? So confused. I've probably misunderstood him. Man of Tomorrow. The Superman director and DC studio co-boss told Howard Stern recently that the next movie is a story about Lex and Superman having to work together to a certain degree against a much, much bigger threat. It's more complicated than that, said Gunn. It's as much a Lex movie as it is a Superman movie. In addition, sources have told Deadline that an April 2026 production start is being planned for Man of Tomorrow. The movie, as announced last week, will hit theaters July 9th, 2027. I am glad that he's not waiting like 5, 6, 10 years to do the next one. Every 2 years, that's a good strategy. That's a good schedule. Gunn immediately went into developing the next DCU movie involving Superman in the wake of his movie's $614 million plus global success. Remember, it's not just box office sales. That's box office sales. That number is box office sales. But they also made money off of over 100 retail partnerships, advertising, you name it. Previously, it was reported that it would be more about the new chapter. Hold on. It was reported that it would be more about the new chapters introduced in his Superman, i.e. Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, etc. Superman did so well for Warner Brothers that they were able to push New Line's Mortal Kombat 2 to mid-May next year as a potential tentpole. The studio already reportedly in the black this year in regards to revenue. Sources tell Deadline before Paul Thomas Anderson's Leonardo DiCaprio political action pick one. I have no interest in seeing this movie. one battle after another. I have no interest in seeing it. I have no interest in seeing Leonardo DiCaprio films anymore. I just don't. Just don't. In addition, Gunn told Stern he's currently editing Supergirl, which opens June 26, 2026. Millie Alcock, who plays Supergirl, might be the best bit of casting I think I've done in my entire life, says Gunn. Oh, yeah? That's actually saying something because he's been pretty good with casting. In talking about the HBO series Lanterns, Stern told Gunn he's always believed that Green Lantern could beat up Superman. Howard Stern's a fucking idiot. Gunn agreed, absolutely, he's pretty powerful. I don't think I believe that. Last weekend, New Line Saffron Company Atomic Monsters Conjuring Last Rites posted the fourth best opening of September with $84 million at the domestic box office. Last Rites will clear the century mark stateside today. So, it's about Lex and Superman. We learn more about Lex as much as we learn about Superman, teaming up to fight a much, much bigger threat, and they start filming in April. So I guess that means he's already got a finished solid script, because he said, we're not greenlighting anything unless we have a banger of a script. Loki, just casually insulting everyone he's worked with before. Yeah, like, how are they supposed to feel about that? Like, that's just how Gunn markets. Again, he's his own worst enemy. But I don't know if I feel hype anymore for this stuff, and it makes me kind of sad. I feel more of a cautiousness to it, you know, like a hope. Like, I hope it's good. I want to be hyped for things, but I've been let down so many times that it's hard to get, you know, like, oh my God, I'm so excited for this. I am excited for Booster Gold, but I want to hear more about it. But they start filming April of next year. So how many months is that? We're in September, October, November, December. Wait, hold on. I'm bad at this. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So 7 months away from filming. He has said we're not going to put anything into production. We're not going to greenlight anything unless we have an amazing script. So the script is obviously done. What are these next steps? What are we going to hear about this film next? I'm telling you, bookmark this. They're going to have Brainiac in it. Lobo will be in it. Martian Manhunter. We should start fan casting Martian Manhunter, like, immediately, because he's coming. If he's not in this film, I will call James Gunn myself and shame him. Oh my gosh. Because I have no power. What is James gonna do if I'm, like, upset about something? Mute me? Not show up to the potluck? Oh gosh. But it starts filming in April. So soon we'll probably start hearing casting rumors, location rumors, plot leaks. Prepare yourselves. Leaks are coming. But guys, if you have any questions, comments, emotional outbursts about any of our topics today, leave it in the chat below. If you would like to support the channel, thank you. Thank you. I cannot continue to do this without you guys. I would not have been able to do this the last several years without you guys. And the easiest and freest way possible is by hitting that like button, subscribing if you are new, and ringing the notification bell to get notified whenever I'm back with any more of this nerdy nonsense. Sorry, I heard someone yelp from the other end of the house and it startled me. So those are the best ways to help support the channel. Share it, leave a comment, engage with me. That lets our algorithm overlords know that you enjoy what I'm putting out there. We have new ways to help support the channel, and they are the second best ways you can help support and make sure that this continues to go. That's by taking advantage of the super chats and by joining as a member. We've got all kinds of perks, early access, emojis, and watch parties and posts and stuff that only you guys can see. There's more. I need to write them down and add them to my notes. But we've got 9 members. We don't have enough for watch parties yet, like not at the correct tier. So if we get enough to do that, we'll do the watch parties. And we are absolutely deadlocked in the members poll about what we want to watch first. So go check that out. Go check that out. Help support the channel. Fernando says DC movies are headed on the right track. I hope you're right, buddy. I think they have made some good choices about the movies and content they want to put out there so far. Next is just seeing what they do with it. If becoming a member and the super chats just are not for you, I completely understand. But you can't blame me for trying, right? Like, this is what I've been working for the last 5 years, is to get monetized on YouTube so that I can have this little hobby of mine actually pay for itself and not take from family money. But if those options don't work for you, I understand. There's also buymeacoffee.com/comics and MUA. You can scan that QR code. You can go to this link and it gives you the option to tip me as little or as much as you like. It is a secure website, but if you want to go with something a little bit more familiar, something that you're more comfortable with, I do have Cash App. I have Venmo and PayPal. I have like everything. So just DM me. Anyway, you have those options there as well. There's also the Nerdling Army over at patreon.com/comics, and basically similar benefits to being a member of the channel, just on a totally different platform. And there is exclusive merch that you can only get there and exclusive chats and stuff. We also have the merch store, comicsandcosmetics.etsy.com. Check that out. Hundreds of designs on hundreds of products. I have pinned Romy Weltman's favorites. So that was so exciting. Anyway, check that out. Also, I am an influencer for Amazon, which means I have a page, which this link takes you to, with several lists of things that I recommend, things that I use myself. Whenever I get something off Amazon, I add it to that list. So all my recommended viewing, reading, skincare, cosmetics, household goods, blah, 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 all there. I'm also an affiliate for companies like Leash Boss. I'll save you 15% on things for your furry baby. And Zenny Optical. I did not put my new link up here. It is in the description below. But my link for Zenny Optical is in the description below. It will save you 10% off. So if you need glasses, sunglasses, fashion glasses, whatever, they have over 2,500 frames to choose from. Seriously, go check them out. I love them. I love my Zenny glasses. I wear them every day. Both of them. I use them for different things. But I have other affiliate links as well. Go check it in the description below. And this podcast is powered by the Red 5 Network. We look amazing in red. We do. We are a collective of exclusively nerdy podcasters and content creators here to educate and entertain you. So if you like this podcast, chances are you're going to appreciate more of what the Red 5 Network has to offer. So go to red5.bio.link today to discover more of the Red 5 family of podcasts. Of course, everything that I've talked to you about today can be found on comics-and.com. My website, I do it myself. Go easy on me, okay? I don't know how good I am at this stuff. So anyway, that's all I got for you. That's it. That's it. Fernando says, if they give us Parasite, who should play him? You know what? Keep an eye on the community tab on the YouTube, on the channel, and we're going to talk about this stuff. I'm going to post some ideas, post some things. But until then, nerds, have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk Peacemaker, and keep your eyes peeled because
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you.